Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're Irish?
Oi.
Suspend the show right now!
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
Yeah.
What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
3 little birds left over here, and I only have the one, the 3 pigs, and I only have the one yellow bird. And 3 little birds
Sat on my window, and they told you they don't something to worry.
Bob Marley. Remember that song from Bob?
From
Marley?
the
From
Chipmunks.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on this Monday evening, right here on WSRR Radio. I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Styles. To my right, Shane.
Hey, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
I already gave my intro. I do want to preface this. I want to throw this out here right now if you're listening live on this
Throw
Monday.
it as far as you can.
I want to throw this out here, 216-859-8699, the number to text in. But if you're listening live on this Monday evening, I've noticed since last night, probably around 11 p.m.,
Oh.
there have been some issues with playback on the station. And It's not just us. It's Live 365. So if you have any like skip sounds or scrubbing sounds that happen, and they're still happening right now, reach out to Live 365. They're listening. I know they are. They have to monitor the stream right now. So if you're listening with Live 365, 216-859-8699, I'm going to need to know that you guys have fixed this at this point.
Let us know.
Because we got sponsorship that needs to be paid for, like Synergy Music Studio based out of Chicago. If you need recording, mixing, mastering, production, or more, visit synergymusicstudio.com right now. If you are a local or independent artist, they're the perfect one-stop shop for all your production needs. Once again, synergymusicstudio.com. Shane, what are we talking about first?
There's an Australian woman who is murdering people with mushrooms.
So this Australian woman invited some of her husband's estranged family over for dinner.
What do you consider?
That's also okay. I need to break that down for a second.
Yeah, break it down. Go ahead. Get it.
Husband's estranged family. That seems a little maniacal.
It seems, at first impression, it seems like he has another family.
Yeah, right.
Like a second wife.
Right.
and kids.
Right.
That is mine. I'm sure that's not what it means. It probably means like he's got a weird uncle that we don't see. But husband's estranged family.
It does make it read like, but I have to. I'm, and maybe this is just me.
Okay. So I read a little bit more. So she is actually her and her husband. They're estranged.
Oh.
Okay. So she invited her husband and his family over, and it looks like
How are you estranged from your husband?
That's if you don't want to. Yeah, maybe you don't want to get divorced.
Don't want to be together, but don't want to get
know
divorced.
anything about the guy.
Yeah, right. Don't know anything about it. I just woke up and was married to him.
It happens to the best of us.
She invited her husband. She was separated, but on good terms with her husband, is what it says.
You can't be estranged and on good terms. I
Quote
don't understand.
No. I disagree with that. "Quote unquote" on good terms, though. If you
it is
end
what
up,
it is.
If you end
good
up
enough
murdering,
terms to murder him, yeah.
You guys are dropping.
Listen,
Your mic flag's falling.
we don't know yet.
Gotta pull up my Mike's panties here.
All right, don't do that now.
Fix your crown, queen. Fix your crown, queen.
Okay, so she invited her husband, his parents, his aunt and uncle over for an adult-only lunch to discuss medical issues that she was facing.
That's another interesting aspect. A quote-unquote adult-only lunch.
I thought you meant the medical issues.
We don't want to kill any kiddos.
Right.
The plot thickens, guys.
I'm just why are you inviting someone who's estranged to talk about your medical issues?
I think the plot is thick, like a stew.
So, her husband declined the invitation. His parents and his aunt and uncle did show up.
A plot stew.
Oh, so it was his aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's his estranged family, but wait, did the husband show up or no?
No, he declined the invitation.
WTF, husband?
Good terms, my ass.
He knew about the poison mushroom.
All right, hang on. Just for clarification's sake. This woman who is married to someone
yes.
that she does not
No longer on married terms, though.
but they are legally still married.
Right.
Yes.
Wants his family to come over for dinner
Right.
because she also doesn't know them very well.
Well,
And
you're
they
saying
come over for dinner.
Estranged
does not.
doesn't mean they don't know them.
Yeah, that's true. But here's,
Estranged means like they used to know each other, but they haven't.
right, they haven't
been-
spoken
yeah.
or been in a relationship in a while. What did the wife invite the family over to talk to them about her medical issues?
That's what I'm
Yes.
getting.
Yes.
That's another
Yeah,
weird.
Like why?
That's another weird thing. And you said okay,
And the husband refused. He
so-
doesn't want to hear about the medical issues.
yeah, the husband doesn't care. Go on, Jules, because
Okay, so
the plot stew is thick. You think it's thick now? Oh, it gets fucking thicker.
she invites them over to talk about her cancer diagnosis and makes them this meal. And this meal includes death cap mushrooms.
Dun dun dun.
Why are they making those?
Why are they like you would? I guess okay. You don't have like a Pokedex on you where you can just scan the mushroom and be like, "This
you
is
can.
a death mushroom."
Google.
I guess
has
Google-
an image thing where
That's
you can
very
take a
true.
picture of the fucking mushroom.
You guys are
That's true.
overthinking this. If you don't know what you're gathering, you shouldn't be gathering.
You should be a hunter.
You're killing. You're a hunter
should
at this
be a
point.
hunter.
She has hunted people in
You're-
lieu of gathering mushrooms.
You have weak gathering skills. Try hunting.
That's it. You're off the gathering squad.
You're
pal.
off the gathering
I'm
squad.
pulling your gathering card for this one.
Pulling your gathering basket. You're done.
So
Your
Get the
basket's
spear.
revoked.
So she made them beef Wellington with death cap mushrooms in it. And then, so
Is that an old family recipe? Or?
she ate some of this meal as well, but not enough to be like really ill. She just like
Convenient.
Well,
was ill a
It's
little bit.
interesting. It's interesting though, because she ate it.
She ate assumingly
Enough.
less than the other people.
Yes.
Yeah, but she ate it knowing, hypothetically speaking, let's go to hypothetical land, potentially knowing that there was death cap mushrooms in there that are going to kill you. So that means that she's like a secret agent and was secretly eating them
Counterpoint.
day by day to build up a tolerance to the death cap mushrooms.
Counterpoint.
She didn't put them on the
No,
side
counterpoint.
Of the
She's
beef
terminal.
Wellington.
She's there to discuss her recent
Oh,
medical
everybody's
diagnosis.
going down with her.
Yeah, so like maybe she's like, well, this is my plan, and I'm
Oh.
going to eat some so it doesn't look suspicious if they die.
I guess
Worst case scenario, I'm here to break some bad news anyway.
Right. Do we know if that's what the health
Yeah,
issue
it said that
was?
she had cancer.
Okay. And is it terminal?
But the prosecutors accuse her. The prosecutors
Genuinely
are saying
invested.
that she's lying because she wanted to
Hang
get them
on.
there for lunch.
Time out.
That's
Time out. Nope, right there. Australian court system. Time out. What do you mean the prosecutor said she's lying about?
That's
Test. Send her to the doctor. Figure it out.
Yeah.
It's a yes or no.
I guess.
But
You
anyway,
can find an answer to that one. You don't have to argue it in court.
after the 5 of them, her, his parents, and his aunt and uncle, ate this meal. She got a little bit ill, but not enough to get hospitalized.
Yeah.
Right.
The other 4 were hospitalized the day after with gastrointestinal symptoms.
Mm.
3 of
Pooping-
them died.
That means pooping and farting.
Or they can't poop and fart.
Or
Oh,
not
yeah.
pooping
Yeah.
and farting.
3 of them died the following week.
Too
From
much or not enough pooping and
Right.
farting.
from altered liver function.
Oh, that wasn't it
and
at all.
multiple organ failure due to Amanita mushroom poisoning.
Here, okay, a couple points to make here. What was
mushrooms.
what did they eat other than mushrooms?
The mushrooms made them poop and fart to death.
It's not. I don't think that's what happened, Shane.
What did they eat other than mushrooms?
Yeah, like what were the mushrooms hidden?
Beef and
It
Wellington.
was beef Wellington. So it's like
biggest crime of all. Beef,
Croissant.
why are you putting mushrooms in beef Wellington?
They're eating beef and croissant.
Do you know what beef Wellington is?
beef
like
and
the hot
croissant?
pocket, the fancy hot
It's like
pocket. Why are
a-
you squinting at
It's
me?
like
when
a
you're doing
very
that?
fancy hot pocket.
Yeah, it's a sandwich, a beef Wellington. We've
It is
covered
a
Yes.
this.
sandwich.
That's
We've,
true.
we've covered that a beef Wellington is
Yeah,
a sandwich
yeah.
on this show.
Shout out
Um,
behind enemy lines.
Yeah, big sandwich guys.
Yeah, big sandwich guys.
Eat beef
over there.
Wellington with one hand
Love it all
all the
the
time. While they're recording.
Yeah.
But why would you put mushrooms in beef? Well, red flag number 1.
Mhm.
If I'm going to someone's house and they're giving me beef Wellington, I'm not eating it if you're putting mushrooms in it.
Just-
Not because I
How
don't
would
like
you
mushrooms.
know it's hidden under the croissant?
I feel like I could see.
You can't see through the croissant.
Have you ever eaten a beef Wellington?
You are not a Cyclops.
Well, I mean,
The
they
X-
have
No,
to
I'm
cut
not.
it.
I'm not James Marsden. I don't
You are
advocate
not
for
the X.
pedophiles.
You are not the X-Man.
You slice it.
See?
Not if you're having
An
beef
argument.
Wellington for 5 people, you're not gonna be one-handing this beef Wellington sandwich.
In argument to your X-Men point, you slice it, Shane.
You've caught me. I eat beef Wellington with my bare hands, and I eat it sandwich style.
Yeah, you've been hanging out with Lucas too much from behind enemy lines.
I just munch on that
If
shit.
you're giving me a slice of beef Wellington, I'm gonna know. I'm gonna know there's mushrooms in it. You have to know that I'm gonna know what's in my beef Wellington.
I start to see red and go carnivorous when I see a beef Wellington.
It's like when Predator sees people in the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
thermal vision. That's me with mushrooms, dude.
No,
Boop, 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 boop,
I
bing,
would-
bing, bing, bing.
I would notice,
That's the
and
hair on my
also
arms standing up.
here is the other counterpoint to the whole mushroom argument. Chills, man, chills. Here's my other counterpoint. What if they're diced mushrooms?
They're not.
You know what? You don't have that kind of information.
Counterpoint, they're not.
You don't have that kind of information.
Well, you don't know they were.
I don't know they were, but I don't
Mm.
know that they weren't.
Why are you dicing death cap mushrooms? That's not how you prepare those.
You don't prepare them.
No, this lady did.
You leave them be.
Yeah,
This lady is a psycho killer.
why are they making them?
So-
Why are they making death cap mushrooms in the first place?
This lady, listen.
You're right, actually. We need to stop production.
Okay, so
Put her in jail. She's
This-
guilty.
I need to read this section of it, of the article.
I feel
to
like
you
the
guys.
plot stew is so fucking thick. Tell me how it
Like a
gets
beef
thicker.
Wellington.
This
Like a
lady
beef
said-
Wellington stew.
She said she admits to lying to the police on 2 instances in the aftermath of the lunch.
Wait.
criminal.
Listen.
Wait.
1, about owning a food dehydrator, and 2, about foraging for mushrooms.
She was
Wait.
gathering.
Wait. That second lie is a big lie,
Yeah, she
all right?
was gathering.
In the case of death mushrooms being in the food that you have just prepared, that's a big lie.
Yeah,
All right.
she admits to having
The first
foraged-
one's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I don't have any toilet paper. Sorry." The next one's like, "Oh yeah, I did the crime, by the way." There's a big difference between your 2 lies.
She admits to having foraged for the mushrooms, but denies that she ever deliberately sought out the death cap mushrooms.
I just happened to pick some mushrooms that could kill
Wait,
you,
wait,
and
yeah.
I accidentally used those ones instead of the
Yeah.
ones I bought from Mark's.
No. No.
No.
This lady did it. She admitted to it. She did, that was a Freudian slip, and she admitted to
I
it.
don't even think it was that, man. I think she planned on dying. That's my new thought.
Maybe
I think she planned on dying.
Maybe she did
and
plan on
couldn't
dying.
couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah,
so
maybe
to
she was.
speak.
Maybe she was eating it, and it's one of those psychological things
Yeah.
where she knew what was in it, so
Yeah,
it
so she
tasted.
couldn't
It tasted like extra
death.
deathy
Yeah.
to her.
This
Yeah, that
case,
distinct death.
The other
pinch.
people were like, "Yes, beef."
this case is
They're
gotten
Australian.
like so big.
Crikey, beef!
There you go.
Crikey, the beef!
Crikey, is there mushrooms in this beef?
Oh! And then they
Turn-
died.
They turn progressively more British.
This case is like
Welcome to the
ongoing.
radio show.
This is
Um,
gonna be such a great documentary in like
Yeah.
a year and a half, 2 years. It's gonna
She-
be so juicy.
She's
the-
pleading not guilty to 3 counts of murder and 1 account of attempted murder.
Well, she's wrong.
And then right now the 15-person jury is being sequestered because of all the
Whoa! They turned them into horses? The hell's going on here? The hell kind of
It's the
that's-
Kentucky Derby
what
season.
kind of
dumbass.
kangaroo court is this shit?
that's
It's Australia.
equestrians.
Oh,
Sequestering a jury is when they take the jury and like they put them in a hotel and like they're not allowed to have any outside influence on the case.
whoa!
Equestrian?
Like Kalahari?
Yeah, equestrian is horses.
No.
Sequestering.
Wait, so you're telling me it's like Kalahari, where you go and you stay in the hotel the whole time? And you don't
I
really
mean,
have to leave?
essentially,
It's more like
they
Great
have
Wolf
to
Lodge.
leave. They get like transported to the court and back.
Interesting.
M-
Okay.
That's what they do
Moral
in-
of the story: she deserves the death penalty for putting mushrooms in beef Wellington.
Just any mushrooms?
Yeah, it killed them or not. That's the wrong move. 216-859-8699. Would you put mushrooms in beef Wellington? Also, Live 365, I know you're listening. Text in.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Hi, this is Melissa,
And hey, it's Matt.
coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
The Rebel Radio Show is live at 5.
Stop saying Daryl the Wild Man show. Well, as if it was like a show that was on it. Well, that's not a thing.
Every Monday on WSRR Radio.
Holy shit.
What?
For
Wait.
the next 9 hours and 41 minutes,
Mhm.
there's 38% off site-wide at genericclothes.com.
Holy shit!
You know what that means? It means you can get shirts with no dumb logos, no pretentious marketing, and free shipping within the U.S. when you go to genericclothes.com. Stick it to the big brand clothing companies. Have a laugh at their expense with genericclothes.com. Proud supporters of WSRR Radio and the local independent music scene. Now, I might be going there with some recent investment payoffs I've made, or received, I should
So
say.
you're withholding from the well now.
No, I'm going to the well more than ever, and let me tell you why.
Oh, okay.
I've
okay.
recently come across an influx of coins.
Oh. And
Where'd
how
you-
so? Do tell. How so?
Shovels full.
Ready?
I've been scooping $8 million dimes off a Texas highway in my spare time.
For those wondering what the fuck that sound was, that was the sound of a shovel going into a pile of dimes.
I don't think there's anything that would be more
Satisfying.
not satisfying. I'm thinking
That's
of
the
another
word.
word now.
That's-
No, I'm
no,
thinking of
that's the
another one
word.
That
now.
was the word.
Orgasmic.
Oh.
Then imagine it. Okay, here, let me lay the scene for you. Semi truck tips over on a Texas highway. After the tractor, yeah.
my dimes!
Don't worry about them. Dimes. Is it 8 million?
8 million.
8 million dimes.
$8 million.
$800,000.
Oh.
$800,000 worth of dimes
Gosh.
spill out all over the highway, right? And you're there, and you have a snow shovel, and there's just mounds of dimes. You're in the sand dunes of dimes. Your grandma at the dunes breaking her coccyx with these
Breaking our
dimes.
Fucking coccyx.
And so you take out your snow shovel, and there's just piles of dimes, and you just whoosh.
yeah.
How is that not cathartic? That's the word I was originally looking for. How is
I
that not a
said
cathartic
cathartic.
feeling? You didn't.
You know what? I might not have.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, but Style is super into these dimes. He really wants $800,000 worth of dimes to shovel up.
Tell me that wouldn't be the best. Name a better feeling than digging a snow shovel into a pile of dimes.
Receiving a giant pile of dimes.
What
As
do
a
you?
gift.
You're not getting one if I can't shovel it.
I
These things that you're speaking of,
You
they
can
go hand in
shovel it
hand.
to him.
I read something funny, and I'd like to recite it. It's a bit of a haiku, maybe a hymn.
It's snowing on Mount Fuji. Go
I
ahead.
don't know, but someone said, "Dimes be looking, or nickels be looking real big when you need a quarter," and I resonated with that. So, if you're ever looking for a quarter and you end up pulling out a nickel and being like, "Damn," putting it back. We are one. I understand you.
In this economy,
Dude, I'm just saying.
When's the last time you used a nickel in this economy?
If a pile of dimes are on the side of the road,
Could you imagine if it
I'm
was
picking them up.
turned into nickels?
That'd
It'd be more. It'd be double, in fact.
It'd be less.
So it wouldn't. If it was
If dimes turn to nickels,
Yeah.
If tens turn to fives style.
No, if 8 million dimes turned to nickels, it would be 16 million nickels. You'd have more nickels than dimes because
The way that you were
a nickel is half a
the
dime.
way that you are hypothetically converting this is so astounding to me.
I hate that this article says that they lost about 8 million freshly minted dimes.
Wait, whoa. About?
Wouldn't we know how
Shouldn't
many
you-
dimes are on this fucking truck?
Shouldn't you know the exact amount? Are
So let
people
me-
backdooring dimes?
Let me break down the story real quick.
I'm a backdoor dimer.
Let me
you
break-
need a couple of dimes, I got you.
That means different things.
Dime time.
A dime time.
Let me break down the story real quick for those of you listening at home.
Sorry, that I just wanted to break it
Shit,
down.
dude, was it the culturally relevant intro?
Hey, that's lost media right there, pal.
So a Brinks, it's not a Brinks truck,
No.
but is a company that specializes in transporting currency across the nation and internationally, like they transport Brinks trucks at points, or the contents from Brinks trucks they will transport. So
Mhm.
their entire job is securely transporting currency.
Correct.
It's what they do.
Correct.
They did not do the one thing they're supposed to do when this semi-truck tipped over, this 18-wheeler tipped over and spilled 8 million dimes across the highway. Now,
It
we've
said that the driver had overcorrected
We've-
and
Overcorrected.
flipped over.
we've often brought up the conversation of if a Brinks truck tips over on the highway, how much
and
money
no
do you-
one's there to hear it.
No, how much money, because they offer rewards for returning the money, typically,
Mhm,
right? So
mhm.
how much money do you grab versus do you turn in? Do you
Okay.
grab $1 million and give them 500,000 and say, this is all I grabbed?
Here's my alternative question to that. Because now I'm older and wiser. How the fuck do we know they're not lying to us about this reward that they would give us? That's what they say.
Well, here, at the end of the day,
But I have $8 million in dimes, $8,000 in dimes right now.
what are you going to do with it? You don't think that's suspicious?
I'm just going to slowly turn it into the bank.
Roll it, go home
Yeah.
and roll them all.
Go home and roll them all myself.
I would fill a pool, and I'd get a
I'd
shovel.
go to one of those coin exchange places.
They're going to get, if you have,
$800,000 worth.
Yeah.
they would take like $300,000.
I'm just going to go to Walmart.
They would,
I'm just
yeah.
going to go to different Walmarts in the tri-state area every 3 weeks.
What 3 states?
No, the tri-state.
What 3 states?
Shut the fuck
That
up.
Name
means
them.
like one state.
Name them.
That means like 3 areas around one state.
No,
Yes, it does.
no.
I'm pretty
You
sure
don't
that's
know how dimes work, pal.
you're a dime a dozen. I'll tell you what.
Thanks, buddy. If I took $800,000 in dimes, I would fill a pool with it, and I'd keep a shovel in that pool. So anytime I'm having a bad day, I just come home and shovel my dimes.
Word to the wise, you cannot swim in a pool of coins
No, you would- yeah.
like Scrooge McDuck.
No, you'd die.
you would
break
die
your neck.
instantly. I know. I've died instantly from trying to be Scrooge McDuck.
If you're listening at home, you gotta let it go. The accident was 4 years ago.
Let me go.
Shane's not really here.
Oh, jeez.
I'm thinking, to answer your question though, about how do you know there's a reward, right?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Well, that's why I'm saying, if I grab $1 million from a Brinks truck spill, and I show up with $500,000 at the police station,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I need to know the conversion rate, like, because I have $5,000 to their knowledge, $500,000 to their knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
What are they giving me? Is it like pennies on the dollar? Is it 50 cents a buck? I need to know what I'm getting back. Is it worth my time?
They're
Secondly-
definitely not giving you coins back. They're giving you a check.
Secondly,
You ding dong.
at the end of the day, if I do go ahead and turn in half the money I collected,
Mm-hmm.
that's still more money than I had at the start of the day.
But then it needs laundered.
No, it
and-
doesn't. That's legal money then.
You
Well,
can't
they're-
launder
the
coins.
other half.
Well, the other half no one knows about but me, and that's okay because it's staying in cash under my bed.
And listen, laundering money isn't that bad because the end result is having a lot of money.
The federal government does it all the time, all right?
Boom. And guess what? We ain't no feds.
Yeah, I'm not a narc.
Amen.
You tell me I'm going to tell on myself for
Could you
taking this money?
imagine hitting a pile of dimes with
Could you
your
imagine
car?
hitting a Brinks truck with your car?
Oh, no.
Again, It reminds me of the hypothetical. I know we've talked about it. It reminds me of the hypothetical of like you come across a guy who just robbed a bank or something like that, and he has a backpack full of money, and you're like, well, this is a backpack
You're dead.
full of money.
He's dead.
Sure, he's dead.
You don't just come across this guy with a backpack full of money. You're
Well,
like, hey, Steve.
I'm thinking in the hypothetical, he's like fleeing the scene, and he like falls over and throws the backpack behind a bush.
He has a stroke, right?
And you're like getting out of work or something like that.
And then you see a bush full of money.
You see a backpack in a bush, and you look in it, and you're like, oh, there's $8 million there's $80,000 in here. You're like, oh, I'm taking this backpack home.
I'm still convinced. I think this was my point then. I'm still convinced anyone that'll tell you that they turn in all of that money to the police is lying.
I'm not turning it. I'm not turning in any of that.
That's what I'm saying. But people would tell you, well, I'd turn it in or I'd turn in some of it. People would tell you that. They're lying.
No.
They're
I
lying.
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
If it was like $10, you wouldn't turn it in. You'd take that $10 and put it in your pocket.
I feel like it almost gets tougher with small bills because small bills, like in that very specific hypothetical, you're
would I
finding
take
it,
$10 out of a backpack?
No, you're finding it like behind a bush or something like that, and it's very clearly a crime scene that hasn't been found yet, sort of thing.
I can justify it I can live with myself.
I think I can. That. If I unzip it and it is legitimately life-changing money, I'm zipping it back up, and that's my new backpack.
Well, and I remember this conversation. The point that I came to at the end of it was if the scenario is someone robbed a bank and they're incapacitated and I see the bag full of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking it because at the end of the day, who gets hurt? Who gets hurt? The FDIC insures the bank.
Right.
Everybody whose money was missing, which is just a shared pot of money, they're all getting reimbursed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This criminal's going to get caught. He's the one that committed the crime.
Criminal got caught.
Yeah.
This is just a byproduct.
This is just money. This is free money.
It's literally a byproduct
Yeah.
of the scenario.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
It's like if there was an
connecting you to
explosion and you found a piece of the rubble,
Yeah.
and you're taking a piece of that rubble.
Right.
You're not doing any harm or good.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
net neutral.
if you feel like the guy, if someone robs a gas station and takes a bunch of chips, and a bag of chips falls out of his hands in the parking lot, and you pull up to the gas pump and find an unopened bag of chips on the ground and take it, if you consider that man a criminal for taking that one bag of chips, then you're the kind of person that thinks that this is a criminal. But if you think he can take that bag of chips and it's not a crime, neither is taking this money.
It's the law. Listen, it's become more. It's transcended being a meme and you guys poking fun at me. It is now a raw.
We're not talking about the slushies again.
It's a law or a rule of thumb. If you're willing to take a slushie, in for a penny, in for a pound, in for a nickel, in for a dime.
I'm not willing to take the slushie.
In for a dime, are you in for a whole bag of cash?
I'm in for about 8 million dimes.
I guess so.
216-859-8699. Would you take the money and run?
This is Preston Hardin, creator of True Vault Escapades, a show combining my love for the Fallout games and old-time radio of days gone by. If you're looking for a classic detective show set in the retro-futuristic post-apocalyptic wasteland, this is definitely for you. You can find us on any podcatcher like Apple or Spotify, and hear it exclusively here on WSRR Radio every weeknight at 10 p.m. Tune in today and prepare for the future.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
Whoever's the owner of the gray sedan, you left the Rebel Radio Show playing.
You know, we get on air and we talk about pooping yourself to death.
Listen.
And we had a conversation during the break about astronomer Tycho Brahe.
Listen.
So, like,
the human mind is a complex thing.
The inner mechanisms of my mind are an enigma.
Amen, Patrick.
That's more than once I've said that on this show.
Amen, Patrick.
You know what else I've said more than once on this show? Hellbendervinyl.com. If you are a local independent artist looking to release your next album or maybe your debut album, make it special, make it stand out amongst the rest. Don't settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around online. Go to hellbendervinyl.com today to get started with your custom pressed vinyl pressings. They're one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants based out of Pittsburgh, PA. They're hellbendervinyl.com. Why are you squinting at me while I'm doing that?
For fun.
I thought like something was messed up in the system and you were trying to figure out times or something.
Oh,
You're
I'm
always
squinting.
squinting.
I'm squinting.
You got shifty little eyes.
I'm a squinter. I'm Irish.
Let me tell you. What?
That means I squint.
I don't think it does.
Squinter.
I think you might
Squinter
be
at
thinking
heart.
of someone of the
Did I
Orient.
say? I'm a squinter, I say.
You're Irish?
Oi. That was Irish. All right. Don't look into it. Don't rewind it. That was Irish.
Everyone, chat, clip that. Rewind that, chat. Clip that.
Look into
I
it.
say.
He said, "Oi." All right, let's address the elephant in the room, or more apropos, the gorilla.
Finally.
It has been brought to my attention. Tim Allen?
That's my listen. I'm bad at the sounds. I'm gonna stop doing sounds now. But that was my gorilla. So
It's been brought to my attention. There is this viral thing going around.
Oh no.
It's pneumonia.
Is it Tycho Brahe's nose?
Yeah. Tycho Brahe's gold, silver, leather nose.
Oh, God.
No, there's a conversation perusing the interwebs recently of could 100 men defeat one gorilla? I was asked twice if we're going to talk about this, so I figured we had to do it. Now, here's the question. The question is simply, could 100 men defeat one gorilla? I think, right off the bat, it depends. Am I getting a random 100 men in like a draft lottery, or do I get to draft the 100 men? I think that makes the world of difference.
The actual prompt is 100 random men. So
Couldn't do it.
I think yes. I think yes. 100%. 100 men could take one gorilla.
No.
However, there would be multiple injuries and deaths on the men's side.
I don't even think it's close.
So let me give a little prelude. All right.
I fought a gorilla once.
I've studied in the arts of how many men can defeat how many animals a time or two with the boys. All right.
Shane's been fighting animals in his free time. He's a regular Michael Vick.
Me and the boys have discussed if 4 of us could defeat how many geese, and then furthermore, if we had chainmail,
right,
and if we had shields, or if we had swords, or machetes.
When I seem to recall,
or none of those.
Well, I seem to recall a conversation of you could use whatever's in the room with you as well.
And I think it's one of those things where the situation depends on the parameters that you are putting on said situation. And so in this situation of 100 random men versus one gorilla, as an expert on the subject, I would say yes.
Hang on.
Let me finish.
Wait,
I gave you guys your time. I gave you
parameters.
guys your time. 100 men versus one gorilla off of sheer volume alone, on sheer numbers. I understand gorillas are ferocious, dangerous beasts. 100%. That is valid. Give me the strongest one. 100 men will literally, it doesn't even matter if like 50 of those men are sick, decrepit meth addicts. Sheer numbers alone, if you plopped 50 of them, they would overtake the perimeter of the gorilla, and just like ants on food on a hot summer's day that you drop on the floor, they would engulf it.
The ones closest to his arms and face would be dead.
Right, and then also furthermore, you have to put the parameters of these 100 men are set on the mission to kill this one gorilla, and this one gorilla is set on the mission to kill these 100 men. They both know what the mission is going in. So these 100 men are going to do everything they can to just crush the gorilla.
We're talking unarmed, right? Just
Sure.
fist fighting.
Yeah.
Sure, unarmed. I think volume alone, they're going
I
to
agree.
like crush and rip the arms off the gorilla, and like it's going to be violent.
So
It's not gonna be
today,
pretty.
the,
All right?
the top theory that I've heard as to why the men would win. The top theory I've heard
Mm-hmm.
is that gorillas, while they're incredibly strong, have short bursts of energy. They can't be extremely active for very long. And I've heard it said that it'd be a timing game. Like you'd use the first 60 men just using up that gorilla's burst of energy.
And you're probably right.
I'm not saying this. I disagree.
Well, I think that theory is like probably more on the realistic side. I think that a more higher quantity are going to get like hurt and killed. But I think like just imagine one able-bodied person, you or me, getting on what would be like the shoulders of the gorilla and just scooping its eyeballs out with our hands.
Here's my problem with that thought process. Even if, like you said, we just surround the gorilla, right?
No, not even surround, engulf
Okay,
it.
sure. If we engulf the gorilla, if we're climbing all over it and pulling it and holding it
Yes.
down, right? I don't think you're taking into account how easy it would be for that thing to throw you off or several men off. Like, it swings its arm, and not only does anybody who is attached to that go flying, anyone in that proximity is getting hit.
I don't disagree. I think it is not as many as you. I think you're thinking this is like King Kong and it's going to fling 5 men with one arm.
I'm thinking it dispatches multiple men per second.
I say like 2.
I think
maybe.
2 men will go like flying or get hurt, but then 6 more men will come up and like
grab an arm.
Right. It's going to be like a mosh pit, like repressing force almost, how like a mosh pit moves in different directions. It's going to be like that.
See, even if you used a mosh pit as an example, and you put a gorilla in the center of the mosh pit, still think the gorilla's taking everybody out.
So hard, disagree. These 100 men are sent on a mission.
Well, very flaccid. Let me give you a counter.
As flaccid as you want to be.
As flaccid as I can. Let me give you a counter to it. All right?
Counter my top.
I don't think the men win in this scenario. But okay, hear me out.
And I can respect that.
I don't think there's a scenario. And obviously it's random men.
Mhm.
So you're going to get different people for each scenario, right?
Right.
I don't think in any of those scenarios, at any more than maybe a 12% chance the men win.
Oh,
statistically. However,
I flip 100%.
Okay, but
because I think the men don't win every time, but more often than not they do.
See, I don't
I
think
agree.
so. I don't
I
think
agree.
so.
I think that they lose sometimes.
I think they got at most 12% chance of beating
No,
this gorilla.
disagree.
Well, if
based
you think
on,
about
based
it-
on the RNG of men.
If it's like a lottery and you're just pulling
Yeah.
random men,
Yeah.
you have to get some good, strong people in there, right?
Because like, listen, you
Pull
and
100 men off the street at random.
You
First
and-
100 you see.
you and I are in that 100. It's not going to be great.
We're not part of the winning 100.
We're not living. We're probably,
Yeah.
and if we're part of the winning 100, we're not a part of the living 100.
Yeah.
Of that that specific 100.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think that we're like
We got to hope everyone else does the heavy lifting.
we're meat shields.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're gonna throw.
Right.
We're gonna be the first couple that the gorilla flings off with. Me and you are gonna be the right arm.
I mean, I could
that
probably
the gorilla flings.
I could probably ground and pound it for like 20 minutes. I could
I'm-
probably hold the gorilla down myself and just go
But
to
I'm-
town on it for 20 minutes.
In my head, in my like hypothetical head
Yeah.
canon, gorilla is on the ground and you are like just dropping 100 men on top. And so literally sheer numbers alone, or even if they all run like medieval battle style
I'm
towards
saying
the center
medieval
with,
battle style.
with
That's
the
how this
gorilla
goes.
at the center, no matter what, they're jumping on like the body mass alone is going to crush the gorilla without a single doubt in my mind. 100 men? Come on.
both of you said, that more men than not die.
Yes.
Yes.
More men than not die. Let me pose you this question. Out of 100 men, how many survive? In
I
your
think,
mind.
I think like you said, 20 to 40.
40.
40 is lucky.
That's generous.
I think 40 is very generous and very lucky, but
Maybe 30?
a more realistic number is
35?
20.
So let me pose you
20
this
blessed,
question.
20 blessed men walk
That's-
out of that battle alive.
You've read that book too?
Yeah.
20 blessed men?
Versus the gorilla.
Yeah.
It's like the Hunger Games.
After the gorilla.
Yeah, after the gorilla.
Let me pose you this then. If out of 100 random men, we're going to say 20,
Mhm.
right? Realistically. If 20 men can survive and take down the gorilla through 100 men. 20 men survive. If you got to draft the men, how many men could you defeat this gorilla in?
20. I want to say I'm being cocky and say 25 men.
I was going to say 25.
I think
I was going to say 20 to 25 men I could beat if I'm drafting the men.
25 of the most able-bodied, like
And
perfect, sheer
I'll tell you right
athlete
now,
animals.
I have my first pick. First round draft pick right off the top of my head.
Wait, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Brock
Chris
Lesnar.
Jericho.
Oh.
Chris Jericho.
Yeah. He's going to put the gorilla in the
No,
walls.
dude, Brock Lesnar, my first round pick
Oh,
every
wait.
time.
No, Jungle Boy. He's
Great
perfect.
Khali. Come on.
He's
just
in,
for the
he's in
game.
the list. He's in
just,
the list.
Just for moral support, if anything.
I need big bodies. I
Yeah.
need some big body
Yeah.
dudes.
Mike Tyson.
I'm talking Shaq.
Yeah.
I'm drafting Shaq.
Large.
Shaq.
Because the thing that you want is large
We
in
need,
terms
like,
of volume.
linebackers.
You
Yes.
want to overtake this gorilla. You want
I
to be-
draft the Pittsburgh Steelers.
literally all of the linebackers in the NFL.
Yeah.
First string linebackers, you're a part of the team.
I'm telling you, man. I'm taking Brock Lesnar first. There's probably gonna be a few like wrestlers, MMA guys.
Yeah.
100%.
Maybe Mike Tyson. He's a little older.
And
Maybe Mike Tyson.
I'll get even
He'll
cockier.
bite his ear off.
If you add chainmail, just chainmail, I think that you could do it in 20.
Now listen,
Maybe 15.
you and I have had the chainmail conversation before.
Give him a tank and they all
No,
win.
No,
Because
just chainmail.
chainmail is like we're going medieval style.
That's fair.
Speaking of
Okay.
which, Scott Steiner's in my 20 men.
Wow. That's bold.
Yeah.
He
He's
came
the-
with chainmail.
Yeah, because he comes with chainmail.
He came. Well, listen,
It's an
it comes-
advantage.
if we're doing it in this hypothetical, everybody gets chainmail. That's the whole. That's
Well, then
the-
I'm not drafting Scott Steiner.
There
that
you
was
go.
the whole appeal to him.
It-
Was
but-
the chainmail.
But I'm saying in this hypothetical,
Right.
we all get the chainmail.
I do
so-
think in the initial scenario, 100 random men, if you give them chainmail, I think the odds drastic go up.
Yeah, because chainmail is very effective. Chainmail is very, very effective.
I think genuinely,
You're not going to get slashed by the gorilla at all.
100 men, random men in chainmail, right?
Yeah.
My
Heavy.
my statistics
Nah.
for 100 random men without chainmail was 12% success rate. I think 100
a
men,
bullshit
100,
success
100 fuck you, dude.
I'm just
100
saying.
random men. You're terrible at math.
I am, but that's a bullshit success rate.
100 random men in chainmail, success rate 33 to third chance of winning.
Fuck off.
You add Samoa
Fuck
Joe to the
off.
mix?
Fuck off. Samoa Joe statistics go up to 100%. They're winning every time.
No, genuinely, if I can draft 100 or if I can draft 20 guys, I'll even go 20.
Mhm.
Brock Lesnar's a top pick. I'll put Khali in there. I'll put Shaq in there.
You're being.
Chuck Liddell.
Here's the thing, man. You have to consider like we're about to gain omnipotence and understand everybody, every male and their strength and weakness.
Yeah.
You know, every male or female. It's 2025. Fuck it. So we're gonna know like the most deadly assassins in the world and what their weakness and
Barehanded.
yeah, but still they're gonna be like dojo masters.
Sure.
You know,
Tycho Bray.
Tycho Brahe style.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we use historical figures? Or is it like 100 living men right now?
I say
currently?
living men.
100 living
Like
men.
if I draft Mike Tyson, I'm getting
No.
old man ass cheeks Mike Tyson.
Because I
Okay.
think in this hypothetical it has to be like we're going to
Today.
we're doing it today at the pit.
I'm draft again. My mind has not changed. Brock Lesnar's my first round pick.
Jungle Terry.
Jungle Terry's in my pick.
Just imagine Brock Lesnar with chainmail on, like
Listen.
full body chainmail
All right.
with like the Jimmy John's logo like
On the
embellished
chainmail?
on it.
It's branded
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it. Brock Lesnar with chainmail versus the gorilla, 1-on-1. I give Brock Lesnar 15% chance.
Listen,
He has a better chance at winning against the
100
gorilla
regular
1-on-1 than
men.
100
No,
regular
no.
men with no chainmail.
Disagree. I
You
disagree.
lifted a shark.
I just genuinely think 20 men if you could draft, but 100 random men. The statistics are like 93. I'm giving you the complete opposite. 93% of the time, the guys are winning.
I say 75.
I rally for the boys. All right,
I'm
we're
dra-
winning.
I'm drafting a lot of desert rangers.
Yeah, some like shadow ops dudes.
Yeah. SEAL Team 6.
Literally
Mhm.
the strongest military people you can find, which is we have access to everybody
I'm
in
going
this
to the
hypothetical.
world's strongest man competition and grabbing the top
Him.
3.
Him,
Yeah.
him, and him. I need all
Mark
three of them.
Henry's on my lineup.
Yeah.
Even modern day Mark Henry's on my lineup.
Yeah, just for moral support.
I mean, he's still got a big body.
Hook.
That's what. And again,
Send Hook
volume
by
alone.
himself.
Like you could do 3 Mark Henrys, 2 Brock Lesnar's, and that one
would
gorilla
kill the gorilla.
would be absolutely cooked.
3 Mark Henrys and 2 Brock Lesnar's would kill one gorilla barehanded.
Like super easy too.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be fun.
Wouldn't even be a fight.
Right.
5 minutes tops.
Right. Yeah.
5 minutes tops.
I think that we are more. Listen, I've had this conversation with a lot of people in my life recently. I think that we are more powerful as humans than we give off, and so
Yeah.
that's why I'm giving us like 93% of the sex rate.
Fun
sex
fact.
rate.
Wow.
We're having a lot of sex.
The gorilla.
We're having sex with that gorilla, guys.
Well,
no,
let me,
success rate.
Let me pose you this question. How much time we got? Let me pose you this question in these last 10 minutes. 100 men, 1 gorilla. How many men does it take to turn that gorilla on?
1. 1 good guy.
And it's me.
Yeah, 1. And his name is Shane.
You gotta fact. I asked you this to ask you that.
You asked me this to ask me that.
Yeah.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Can you get with this or you can give me that? Let me ask you this.
Doodah dippity.
It all depends. How horny is the gorilla against these 100 men?
Anger can turn into horniness. Very, very.
And horniness can turn into anger.
You have to be careful. It's a teeter.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with those gorillas.
It depends on how horny the gorilla is, how well these men fare.
What about?
Do you think the gorilla fucks any of these
After?
like the carcasses?
Yeah.
Dear
Ooh.
God. Yeah, that's the thing. If
We're
we're
getting
talking,
taken down for this one.
here's the other thing that like I've said, I'm a seasoned veteran in these kinds of conversations. I've talked about will 4 dudes, 5 dudes, could this group of people take on 100 geese? Okay, what about 50 deer? What about 110 bears?
How
What
many
about
cats?
how many cats can you fight? How many
Yeah.
cats can this group fight? I really think that just on sheer volume alone, the gorillas are winning, or the men are winning, not the gorillas.
Freudian slip. He thinks
Yeah.
the gorilla's winning.
No, if there's 100 gorillas, they're winning. But just on sheer volume alone, the men are winning. But I feel like this, you have to accept the fact that it's gonna be like primal. It's gonna be a gross ass fight. There's gonna be limbs and like if the 3 of us are fighting 10 geese, life or death, it's gonna be disgusting.
Easy win though.
Easy win, but
Easy
it's gonna be
win.
disgusting by the end of it, and we're gonna be like scratched up. It's not gonna be painful necessarily, and we're not gonna have to like
It's
go
gonna
to
be
the hospital.
annoying.
Right? But we're gonna have like scratches on us, and
Our eyes could be pecked out.
right. Like shit could not be bad, but like oh man, we fought some fucking geese today, But I think we would win 10 times out of 10.
All right, final thought here on this.
Sure.
I've narrowed down the minimum amount of men I would need to beat one gorilla. Give me 5 sumo wrestlers.
Shut up.
No, listen. Here, give me 5 sumo wrestlers. Give me Brock Lesnar.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, I'm still going. Give me
Sorry.
5 sumo wrestlers. Give me Brock Lesnar. Give me Shaq. Give me Mike Tyson. And Michael Vick. I got it down to 8.
8.
9.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm 9.
Yeah, sorry.
On
5
my-
sumo wrestlers.
On my fingies.
9. I got it down to 9. 5
Add
sumo
one
wrestlers.
more. Add one
Shaq,
more.
Brock, Michael Vick,
You got to add one for moral support, like Danny DeVito.
Mark Norman.
Mark Norman is a good one. He would have fun. He would retell the story because that's the thing. You need one guy in the group to be able to retell the story, and Mark Norman would be the perfect fit.
Brutality.
We killed the gorilla. Tyson ripped its eyes out, bit its ear off again.
Mark Norman's my 10. 10 guys. If I'm drafting, if I'm in the war room, pulling draft cards,
Yeah.
I got it in 10. I can beat a gorilla in 10 men.
You really give them a 13 percentile win rate if it's
100 random? Yeah.
That's so fucked.
That's generous.
That's so
That's
fucked.
generous.
Because the thing is, like, you're wrong. They're going to squish the
Why
gorilla.
don't you and 99 of your buddies go to the Columbus Zoo?
I don't even have 10. I don't even have 9.
Hey, I mean, one gorilla lost versus one kid.
That is true. I think there were factors at play, though.
There was a gun. There was a gun. In
Does
that
the
situation.
gorilla know about Harambe? Is
Listen,
another
if
great
these-
question.
If it was 100 men, if it was 100 men, one gun, one gorilla, the men are winning.
Yeah.
Like
you,
the men
you
are
need
wi-
one. You need one
instantly
man.
winning. If it's one man, one gun, one gorilla, the man is winning.
Now hear me out. One man, one gun, one gorilla. But the gun is in the center, like dodgeball rules.
Oh.
And they gotta run to
Do
the
you
gun.
think the gorilla would know?
No.
We
But
train the gorilla.
No
yeah, if
training,
you
no training.
Oh, come
Raw,
on.
raw gorilla.
Fuck.
OG gorilla.
No.
Classic.
I
Now,
think we have to
do
train
we
the
still
gorilla.
both have the mindsets of we need to kill each other?
Well, hang on. Yes,
Okay.
but the man also isn't trained in the gun.
Sure.
He's not a firearm owner.
I'm not trained in a
But
firearm, but I'm
a
shooting a
regular
fucking
person
gorilla.
understands.
But can you get there first, or
I
wrestle it
don't-
out of the gorilla's
I
hands?
don't. That would be the battle.
Yeah, because
That's what I'm saying.
How fast are gorillas?
'Cause
How,
then-
how quick is the draw of that gorilla?
The gorillas are probably faster than us,
So
and they're gonna swipe us, and like one swipe, we're KO'd.
they're
Yeah.
getting to you before you get to the gun.
Right.
The gun has to be
Right.
not your
The
first
the
option.
gorilla is more likely to run past
At
the,
you, yeah.
past the gun, and we're not even gonna make it to the gun.
In which case, it's how well can you evade the gorilla to get to the gun?
Yeah.
You just start running in circles closer to the gun.
Let's
like
build
a
a
Yeah,
spiral.
Colosseum.
spiral.
Let's build the Colosseum and
They
have
did that in
these
Rome one time. It was pretty sick, actually.
with guns and gorillas.
I recently found out that they filled the Colosseum with water. That's kind of crazy. And
In-
genuinely, I think that we should bring that back.
the Colosseum. I
Yes.
feel like it's kind of brutal.
In Roman days, they would fill up the bottom bowl of
Right.
the Colosseum with water to have like water battles
Yeah.
and shit. I did not know that. That's so
I
crazy.
just don't think you could do that today. I don't think you could advertise death like that today.
Death sports. We've talked about it a million times. Death sports.
That's just playing basketball in the courtyard of prison. That's all that is.
Listen, I'm just saying 100 men are winning. That's my final answer. No way around it. Sometimes they might lose if they're like
As a
100.
beefy gorilla.
Yeah, if it's a really beefy gorilla and it's like 100 dumb men, then they're losing.
Because it's a randomly selected gorilla every time. It could be a small gorilla.
Because here's the other statistic that you have to put
A
into
small
play.
gorilla is still towering over a man.
Here's the other statistic you have to put into play. At least 20% of those men are going to be well able-bodied enough to fight a gorilla on their own.
216-859-8699 if you think we could beat a gorilla. Once again, that phone number, 216-859-8699, works if you're listening live on this Monday evening right here on WSRR Radio, or if you're listening to any of our program all throughout the day on the radio or on our website, WSRRradio.com. We have programs like Shaney's Off Air.
That is me.
We have The Pigeonhole. We have Behind Enemy Lines, your Cleveland sports show from Pittsburgh at 10 a.m. every Monday. Of course, that's just part of your morning drive block, along with the Grab Bag and the Indie Insight at 10 p.m. During the weekdays, you also get True Vault Escapades. That's the Fallout-based radio drama from Preston Hardin. And we also have interviews, exclusives, and more at WSRRradio.com. You can listen along live every Monday with us right here at 5 p.m. or to the podcast every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. For more information or to contact us or chat with the community, you can always go to the Discord server as well, WSRRradio.com, to get you to all of those, as well as our sponsors, Synergy Music Studio, GenericClothes.com, and Hellbender Vinyl. But until next time, I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Styles. Am I right, Shani?
Bye, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Adios.
Peace.